And so old Nick released his demons unto the world of man. And the world of man fell before the demons, and his world became like the guttering candle flame. And God did nothing, for he was invisible. And couldn't he punch his way out of a paper fucking bag anyway?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey everybody, my name's Aaron McDonald, and you are watching Private Parts. Today I'm just going to be talking about kind of what I've seen lately in theaters, kind of the state of... I know that, in an episode previously, I say I don't really talk about movies that I didn't like, but I'm nothing if, like everybody else, I'm nothing if not a hypocrite. What I will do is if I'm not fully in love with a movie, I will talk about some redeeming characteristics or things that were worthy of the movie. I'm just like in a spot that the last few movies that I've gone to see in theaters, it's just like I'm hopeful because there's lots of good stuff still to come this year. But the things that I've seen in theaters, especially one that I did almost a whole episode about already, or in lead up to, were disappointment is disappointment. It's kind of a bummer. So, the first thing I'll talk about is Psycho Killer. Psycho Killer, I did the whole Andrew Kevin Walker episode in preparation because I was so fucking like everything, that the trailer for it, everything, I was really excited for Psycho Killer. Seemed right up my alley. And so I went to see it, and of course the first the stories for the first week on that movie were about how it was had a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Does it deserve a 0%? No, of course. No. I mean, look. What I wrote most of this in a Letterboxd review. But what I'll say is this. Psycho Killer, you can almost smell the dust on the pages. Like it feels like a movie that should have come out. If it would have come out 20 years ago, it would have been right at home alongside movies like Venom and Hatchet and things like that. And it would have even been a little kind of a breath of, I don't want to say a breath of fresh air, because at the time those movies were kind of, or like what was the Kane movie, See No Evil with Kane. Those were kind of a return to form for slasher movies post kind of the Kevin Williams, which we'll talk about, with kind of the screamification of like WB horror movies or whatever. Psycho Killer there was some really cool stuff about it. I think the titular Psycho Killer, the satanic slasher. A lot of people are dogging on the voice in it, like he's got this very deep, like ADR voice.
Flattered you've been following my work. I'll be leaving you some new pieces along the way.
But I was kind of, I don't know, like it's nice to have a slasher that talks. I mean, like, a slasher like the Satanic Killer that talks. We have a Freddy Krueger's and the Pinheads and things, but we don't really have like a Mike Myers or a Jason or like kind of a big brooding monster that can communicate. So I like his voice. I like his look. Um, there are some very stylized set pieces. There are some things in this like that I really dug. You know, the story, um, even the I don't want to say the twist. Yeah, I guess it is a twist. Kind of like where it ends up. I thought were all kind of like really cool. I thought they could have like, especially being Andrew Kevin Walker, it could have gone. They describe a bunch of murders, but the murders that you see, you don't really. They could have gone more. They could have gone deeper into showing kind of from the guy that did 7 and 8 millimeter. I expected to see a little more carnage, and you don't really see it, you know. But like I said, there are a couple of cool set pieces. It feels like a first draft. The direction was not good. I'm sorry. The dude who directed it was Gavin Perlone, and he produced like he produced 8 millimeter and Stir of Echoes and Panic Room. I mean, he's produced Zombieland. So he's got a lot of producing under his belt. But this is his first like I think he's directed some TV and stuff, but he's got a working relationship with Andrew Kevin Walker, and this felt like like while they were working on Stir of Echoes or 8 millimeter or something, that like Andrew Kevin Walker said, "Hey, read this," and the dude flipped over the script and said, "We're gonna make this someday," and that day just never, you know, 20 years, 25 years down the line, the day finally came, you know, and he directed it exactly as it was on the page. If this would have had a different director, if it would have had David Fincher or, you know, even like a Zach Kreger or something, like that would, you know, if, this movie would have benefited greatly from somebody who is a little more experienced directing. Not to say he's not a great producer. It just you could feel the inexperience on the movie, especially with the performances. Like Georgina Campbell. We know Georgina Campbell knows how to act. In this movie, her performance is super wooden. It's just not. I don't feel like she was given much. I don't feel like she was given much. Like, yeah, watching a movie like this, you can definitely see how challenging it is to make a good movie. And like I said, this does have a lot of cool things going with it. I actually like the last 2 minutes, like not even 2 minutes, the last like 30 seconds of the movie gave me fucking the nostalgia feels for like Dark Castle movies, like 13 Ghosts and House on Haunted Hill and shit like that. It's got this kind of a twist ending, and then it goes right into like this new metal song because the Psycho Killer is a Satanist and he's a metalhead and he's got tattoos all over and he's a satanic sacrificer, you know, like he's a psycho killer. So I would say that it is not worthy of a 0. I would say that I'm probably going to watch this movie again more than once. But it's not without its flaws. It's peccadillos. It's bugaboos. The second movie that I'm going to talk about is Scream 7. Um, Scream 7 again would have benefited from a different director. This was directed by Kevin Williamson, who wrote the first movie, and he wrote, I mean, a slew, like I Know What You Did Last Summer, and the Urban Legends, and like he kind of kicked off the new slasher craze during the late 90s. And he's directed before. He directed Teaching Mrs. Tingle, which is a good movie. You know, I mean, especially by today's standards, is a fucking phenomenal movie. But at the time, it was perfectly like a decent movie. You know, Scream 7 is there were some fan videos that came out a while ago about how Stu was still alive and his face is all, he looked like fucking what's his name, Jigsaw from The Punisher. Like his face is all fucking crushed, you know, and stitched together. And it felt like they took that concept and brought it into this new film. Yeah, like it felt very, nothing felt new about it. Nothing was surprising about it. Nothing, like there were some really cool kills. But again, the direction, it almost felt like a scary movie. It felt like a parody of itself. So it was, I mean, like I like a good deal of the Scream movies, but it just wasn't, it was a disappointment. There are some characters that are back, you know, Sydney's back. Stu is kind of, you know, there are these characters that are in the movie again. But is that enough for me to just give it's not, the nostalgia isn't worth the you know, it just is not a great movie, you know, unfortunately, because I even like the last couple of 7 movies, or not 7 Scream movies, but this one just did not, you know, it almost felt like when Dimension was just churning out fucking Hellraiser movies to hang on to the rights, you know. This felt like Kevin Williamson really trying to hang on to some idea of where he was at one point. So, but some people, like plenty of people, are loving it. So I don't know. You might see it and really dig it. Now the last movie I'm going to talk about is Undertone, the new A24 movie. I don't want to poo-poo this movie, yes, but I'm going to. Undertone for me just wasn't. I don't know. I don't want to say it was overhyped, but maybe it was a little overhyped. It felt. I was really excited. I was really excited to see this. I was really curious. People that I watch, like other movie appreciators and critics and things, have really dug this movie. Again, it's like one of these movies that's like, even on the poster it says scariest movie in decades or whatever it says. And it just was, and the fact that it was 94 minutes, I was like, holy shit, yes, please Please put this in my fucking head right now. I want to give those guys kudos. They made this movie on 500 grand, which, you know, to you and me would be a fucking life-changing amount, but in movie terms, it's nothing. It's pennies. And they shot it in 12 days. And the sound design is fucking phenomenal. You will hear this everywhere. The sound design is really cool. The idea is really cool. It definitely the story is these two people have a podcast. They're doing over Zoom, and kind of our main character is living with her mother, who's under hospice care, and having gone through a similar thing very recently. It did bring up some feelings. I can't say the movie is without some sort of it definitely made me feel something, you know. Fear, it did not make me feel. The theme of their podcast is they kind of unearth these creepypastas, or just kind of it's not like a true crime podcast, but it's kind of like a supernatural podcast. And our main character is kind of the skeptic, and the person on the other side of you never see their co-host. It's all through voice, and they're kind of the believers, and they get these sound bites from an anonymous email, and it's 10 sound bites, and it's a succession of what you kind of like very creepy these very creepy happenings between this couple. And so there are the two storylines, right? There's our main girl and her relationship with having to deal with her parent who's dying, and having to maintain like relationships around her and her podcast, and kind of what's the story that they're relating to their audience, and where the twixt meet. They it creates some supernatural goings on. It just didn't, you know, it was amazing for the time and the money that they put in. There's a shitload of potential there. You can see that the filmmaking, if these guys would have directed Psycho Killer, it would have been a different deal. You can see the filmmaking chops, and the acting chops are fucking great. But it just like for me, it kind of it accumulated to like nothing. It just kind of fell apart. There was no. I hate when people say I didn't like that because it didn't have an ending. Because sometimes an ending is just kind of ambiguous, and I'm totally in for an ambiguous ending. This didn't feel like it. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but it just wasn't what I was expecting going in. I kind of, you know, after those 3 experiences, it was like, fuck, dude, have people forgotten how to fucking make movies? I don't understand this anymore. In the preview that I kept saying, I can't even remember the name of the movie right now, but it's these 2 guys on a road trip, and one gets out to take a leak, and fucking like he gets, I don't know. I'm sure if you've seen any horror movies lately, I'm sure you've seen this preview. One of these 2 guys in the middle of the night gets killed, and so the other one splits, and he keeps seeing the same fucking person on the side of the road. And it seems like a short film, or it seems again like the scary movie version. It seems like a parody of what people are expecting nowadays from horror, and like it was just like I was being inundated with like it's just been a hard time at the movies for me right now. But I also did see I got to remember that I did see the 28 days later the Bone Temple, which was fucking sick, dude. It was super good. Jack O'Connell is my guy now. He's one of my guys. It takes it was like when Tom Hardy did like Bronson, and then he did like Warrior. Like it takes a few kind of fucking pedals on the bicycle for. So Jack O'Connell with Sinners, and now with Sir Jimmy Crystal, he's like become like one of my guys. Now I will now follow Jack O'Connell. I'll see a movie because he's in it now. Ray Fiennes was sick. The end was sick. The whole dude, the movie was like really, really good. So I got to remember that there are a bunch of things coming up that I'm really excited about. There's Hokum from Damian McCarthy, who did Oddity and Caveat. Like, so everything that he's done so far has been really good, and Hokum looks wild. There's Obsession, which I'm hearing is good. I'm a little on the fence about that one, but I'm totally I'm in to see it. Zach Krager's Resident Evil is supposed to be out this year. There's Werewolf. Robert Eggers' new werewolf movie is supposed to be out this year. I mean, there are a bunch of movies, like horror movies, that I'm really excited for. On top of fucking like, there's a new Spielberg Alien movie coming out this year. The new Dune is coming out. I can't I can't let a few bad apples ruin the whole barrel, right? Even though I've had some questionable, like I did still like Psycho Killer. I liked it enough, there are plenty of movies that I liked as a kid that were fucking bad movies, dude. There was this movie Sleep Stalker about this serial killer who becomes the Sandman, and it's got The Boy Who Could Fly in it. And that was a bad movie, but it's got a couple good scenes that I really dug, and I like that movie forever. I still like it. There's Slaughter of Innocents, which me and my buddy Josh used to catch on HBO at fucking like 5 a.m. This movie was always on at 5 a.m. About this again, like a serial killer, and Scott Glenn is like this FBI agent trying to chase this dude, and there's this precarious kid who's like this hacker back in the early 90s, who's like also trying to catch his serial killer, and this dude is like this religious zealot. He kind of reminds me of the serial killer in fucking Maniac Cop 2. He's got this fucking wild black hair and this big black beard, and he's, like I said, he's this religious zealot. But he lives in this cave on a fucking giant boat, like a ship, like a pirate ship in this cave. And that is a bad movie. Objectionably a bad movie. I love that movie. I bought it on Blu-ray. Like, some of that is nostalgia, and some of it is just like, I like what I like. I don't have to fucking like good movies all the time. I like shitty movies sometimes. So Psycho Killer, I dug. It was just not what I was expecting from the pedigree that was behind it. much like Scream 7. So, there is hope that Frogman Returns from my boys at 6 Feet Under is coming out soon. I don't know if you saw the original Frogman, but it's a lot of fun. It's a found footage movie about a frogman, and it's cool. So, plenty of stuff to look forward to. And like I said, a few bad experiences does not make the rest of the year or filmmaking in general totally fucked, you know? And that's where my head can go. So, I also have, I didn't see Primate, which I heard was really good. And I didn't see the new Sam Raimi movie, Send Help, which shame on me. Shame on me. If you're wondering, I decided to put this part of my palm through a mandolin just recently. And so now 10 stitches later, and we're on the road to recovery. So thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions, any bad movies that you like, or if you like any of the movies that I was talking about that weren't my bag today, explain yourself. Tell me why. And keep going to see movies. You know, we won't get more movies if we don't see movies. So whether good, bad, or indifferent, it's important to see movies. So I love you guys. We'll see you guys around the bend. Peace.
And so, the world of man became Old Nick's dominion. And his dominion was hell. How's that?
How's that?